Hi guys, welcome back to FPL Weekly, and this is our Game Week 6 review. And today we'll be talking about the top performers in Game Week 6, the top differentials in Game Week 6, and also some players that are under the radar. But we'll also be talking about our team performances, which are not pretty great this week. So yeah, let's begin. So firstly, just talking about the week. So it was a pretty bad game week for me after the good game weeks before. But I'll talk about my team afterwards. Let's start with Bruce. So Bruce, how was your game week?
I had a good game week, above average again, 55 points. Started off with Martinez, who gave me 3 points at the back, some good top class saves. Then I had Lamptey in defense, who they kept a clean sheet till almost the 60th mark or something, but then they conceded later on. Same with Killman, they conceded almost in the end stages of the game. Good free kick by Murphy. Then I had Chilwell, who has returned in 3 games consecutively. I had Son, 11 points, absolutely good. I had Salah as my captain. Many of them were disappointed to just 2 points. I had Fernandes, who gave me a clean sheet, so 3 points in total. Rodriguez, 2 points, disappointed. Calvert-Lewin, we all knew at some point that goal scoring streak has to come to an end. I had Kane with 5 points, and to end it, the best of this week, Patrick Bamford with 17 points. So overall, good game week for me, 55 points. Quite satisfied. Not very happy, but satisfied.
Yeah, actually, it was a pretty bad week for everyone. I guess not bad, but below average. But having Bamford in the team got you the points. I guess took you above average. And we have Noom with us as well. So Noom, how was your game week 6?
Hi boys. So yeah, my game week 6 was below average. I was below average. This is my fourth game week. I have scored below average. So yeah. So I had Martinez on goal. I had Castagna on defense. So I took a risk on keeping him in because I thought, well, he'll get some return. He got a return for me, clean sheet. And then I had Robertson. I had Walker Peters, and I had James James from Everton. Sorry, James Everton on the midfield. Then I had Salah as captain, and my vice captain was Son. So the thing was I would either keep Son captain or Salah captain. So I went with the crowd and I kept Salah captain for safety. And since you're saying home game also, and considering that he's good at home against teams below, in the bottom half of the table, so I kept him as captain. Then I had Grealish, who almost scored, but then yeah, they had a bad game this week. Then I had Wilson, who got an assist for the free kick which Murphy scored. I had Kane, the new De Bruyne, as Kira calls him now. And then I had DCL. So no return from DCL this time, but yeah. And I got 45 points below average this time, but so let's see. I have two transfers, for the next game week. Let's see what changes I can make, and hope for the best.
Yeah, still you had a better week than me. So finally, after some actually all the weeks were pretty good for me except one. But this week is like not very bad. It is below average. I got 42 points. So just talking about the team. I had Saris, so he got a clean sheet because he was subbed off after the 60-minute mark. And except that, in the midfield, I had Trossard, Foden, Sterling, and Salah, who all blank. But I had Son, who got me the points from midfield. And in my strike, I had Kane and DCL. So Kane got an assist. But Calvert-Lewin, we were expecting him to not score this week, and he didn't score. And except that, I had Bamford on my bench. So that is the worst to happen to any FPL manager. Someone from your bench scoring a hat trick, getting 17 points, and you have him in your team, but you don't get the points. It's like a very bad feeling. So yeah, that was a mistake from my end, but it's okay. It's fine. Let's see. But I'll make the changes. I don't think I'll make very drastic changes for next week. So yeah, that's how it is. So yeah, let's talk about the top performers in Game Week 6. So firstly, Bamford, he was the top scorer in Game Week 6. He got a hat trick. He scored 17 points and two great goals in that hat trick as well. And other than that, Zaha got 13 points. Ward-Prowse scored a goal and got bonus points. He got 11 points in the game against Everton. Son, again, he's the top performer in a game week. He got 11 points. And Danny Ings, he has been performing consistently, and he got 2 assists this week, and he got 10 points. So he has been playing really well. So these were the top performers, not quite that we expected. We expected Son, Sterling, and Kane as well, somewhat to finish in the top performers, but this was not a game week for big hitters, I think. So yeah, let's talk about the top differentials in game week 6. So in differences also there are pretty much the Redewald from Crystal Palace. He's a 4.4 million midfielder. He got 9 points. Kearney from Fulham got 9 points. Firmino got a goal this week. He got 9 points. And Diego Jota from Liverpool as well. He got a goal. He got 9 points. And Jacob Murphy from Newcastle. He scored the free kick at the end against Wolves, and he also got 9 points. So all the differences are pretty much not the people that expected. But yeah, so Bruce, any of them playing like getting 9 points, these differentials. So should we look at them and get in our teams, or are they 1 week wonder?
I think with the new formation that Liverpool are playing with, since Van Dijk is absent and since Thiago is also out, Thiago Alcantara is out, I think Jota might get a few starts. And whenever he starts, he's very fast, he's very pacey, and he's always in the attack ahead. As good as Salah, he also has an eye for goal always. If you've noticed, he'll always take shots. Very few of the times that he'll pass the ball if he has a chance on goal. He'll take the shot. So I feel Jota is a good option, but at that price point, it's debatable because there are other options also like Wilfried Zaha and all that in that particular range. So yeah, I think Jota and Jacob Murphy also, who's been fighting for a start, and finally got a start and he scored. So I think he might stay in the team, and if he stays in the team, he did look pretty good last game. So, and he's on free kicks also. So yeah, either Jota or Murphy.
Yeah, exactly. So not many great differences this week that performed well, but someone to look for is Jota. I guess if he keeps starting and he gets goals and assists, so he can be a cheap, midfielder to get into the Liverpool attack. So yeah, let's see. But talking about our third topic, that is under the radar players, and these are some players that are not very in the market. Not many people know that they are performing well, and even if they are performing well, not many people have them in their teams. So yeah, let's talk about under the radar players. So firstly, I'll ask Bruce, like, who do you have as your under the radar players for us?
For me, after watching a lot of games, I think Lookman is somebody to take under consideration because he's always into the attack. I mean, he hit the left first, he hit the right first, and and even Geta had a good save, so he didn't get his goal. But I think his goal is coming soon. Even the previous game, he played like that. So Lookman is one player that I think might return very soon. And the other West Brom striker, Grant. If West Brom play the way they played in the second half, they absolutely battered Brighton. They were so clinical in their passing and in their attack as well. So I think Grant is a good option. Almost 0 point something people have selected him, so he's a major differential. Same with Lookman, very few total selected. So these two are some two players to keep in mind.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty great differences, I guess, under the radar, and not in many teams as well. I guess Grant is still in 0.0 or 0.1% of the team. So he's a pretty great differential and under the radar player. But I have two players in mind. So first one is Antonio. So Antonio, we have seen that not many people are getting him in their teams because of the tough fixtures that they have till game week 8. But still, Antonio got 2 goals in his last 3 games. And he always wins the second ball. He always wins the duels that he has, and he is their main attacking threat. Whenever they go forward, Antonio is involved. He gets the goal. He scored a great goal against City as well, a bicycle kick. So he has been playing well, but I think he got subbed off early. So just wait and watch for another week, and if he's fit after game week 8, I guess he's one player that doesn't depend on the fixtures and he plays on his form. So he can be one player to get in your team as a differential, and he's still in 3.9% of the teams. And talking about another player, so I have Kurt Zuma in my mind as under the radar. He's not quite under the radar. He's in 5% of the teams currently, but people are preferring Chilwell over Zuma because Chilwell gets the crosses, he runs forwards, and he does all the attacking work as a defender. But Zuma has got 2 goals already this season. He's cheaper than Chilwell. He's priced at 5.1 currently, and whenever he keeps a clean sheet, he gets the bonus points. And he is also their main target on set pieces. Whenever Chilwell takes the set pieces, he is the one to score a goal from that. So I guess Zuma can be a great differential. He is under the radar still. And if you are looking for a change in defenders, and if you don't want to go, follow the template and go for Chilwell, you can go for a differential, that is Zuma from Chelsea. So yeah, that is from me, my end. But Noom also has some under the radar players. So Noom, who are your under the radar players?
So yes, Chirag. So adding on to Antonio, he's got like 3 goals in 6 games. So for some of them it would be like it's a small return, but he's got 3 goals against Arsenal. He's got 1 goal against Arsenal, 1 against Leicester, 1 against City. So if he goes on like that, if he scores 1 goal for 2 games also, he'll be a very good value for the FPL team, right? So now let's wait and watch. But after the next game week, he has some favorable fixtures, right? Yeah. So yeah. So the other player I have is Che Adams. The last 4 games he has got 2 goals, 2 assists, got like a lot of shots on goal. So he's a very good valuable player. Also, his value is not that high, and he's been playing every game for Southern up till now. So and him and Ings are potentially quite dangerous up front. So if you want to take a punt, then you can go for the Che Adams, and he's only in 1.8% team. Yeah, so a very good forward, and now he's coming back in form. It's not a goal, he's getting an assist, so good enough.
Yeah, exactly. Che Adams always had the stats to back him, but he didn't get the returns. But now he's getting the returns as well. And as you spoke about Ings and Che Adams, they both have a great partnership. I guess they are the cheaper version of Son and Kane, because Son and Kane are like a pricier version and they have a partnership going on. But Ings and Adams have the same partnership and are cheaper than Son and Kane. So I guess Adams can be a great, differential to get into that Southampton attack, and he's cheaper than Ings. So if you want to take a punt on Che Adams, now is the right time, I guess. So yeah, that's about it, and that's all we have for you today in our Game Week 6 review and some of the under the radar players. So yeah, stay tuned, keep watching, and we'll be coming up with more shows. The Game Week 7 preview will be soon up. So yeah, keep watching.